Hi folks, so today we're going to be taking a look at aircraft crew skills in Warthunder, and the focus here is going to be on whether or not it's really worth it to upgrade to a full ace crew on one of your aircraft. For our example plane, I'm going to be taking out the JAS-39C Gripen. It's a top-tier fighter jet in the British tech tree, and I've chosen this vehicle mainly because its flight performance is absolutely astounding. It's incredibly agile, it's got good acceleration, it pulls hard into high G turns and everything else. So this will be a really good illustration of how crew skills impact your ability to fly the plane. I'm going to show you some before and after footage. Now, I'm going to put some timestamps down at the bottom so you can skip ahead if you're already familiar with what I'm about to show you here, but I want to show you what your crew skills are actually going to do for you. Now, keen vision and awareness are just going to deal with how far away and like in what direction you can spot targets on your minimap and with the spotting pip, you know, like the little highlight you get in realistic battles. G tolerance and stamina are incredibly important. They're both directly going to impact how hard and how long you can pull high G turns before your pilot blacks out. I would argue that these two are probably some of the most important places you could put crew skills while you're leveling up your crew. Vitality is just how well your pilot can take a hit. But in reality, I mean, if you take a couple of shots to the cockpit, you're pretty much done anyway, but it's still good to max that out. Defensive armament. This doesn't apply to this Gripen, but basically these are those same stats applied onto gunners if you're flying a bomber or something that has gun turrets. And these obviously deal with precision and accuracy of your firing. Your gunners can also black out, and your gunners can obviously also take hits. Logistical services are exactly what it sounds like. How quick it takes to repair your aircraft back in the hangar if you do not have auto repairs turned on. How long it takes to repair your aircraft if you land on the runway. Repair rank, it's exactly that, the maximum rank of a vehicle that the mechanic can repair. This has not really kept pace with the inflation of ranks now that we're down in rank 8, but it is what it is. Reload speed is not super critical for realistic battles, but like in arcade battles and everything, this impacts how quickly you can reload while you're flying out in the air. And weapon maintenance impacts a whole bunch of stuff. This one could be a whole video on its own. But basically, the summary here is pretty accurate. It talks about weapon overheating, that's going to be your guns, and bomb scattering, that's going to be the accuracy of unguided weapons. I have not been able to find or get from the snail any hard confirmation if this crew skill impacts the spread of unguided rockets. But if it does, this would be the place to reduce that. Now, for qualifications, you're going to see here my JAS-39C is at the basic level of qualification. I have not upgraded to expert or ace. So I'm going to bring this thing out into a match, and I'm going to show you what it's like flying this guy around with just our base pilot, who's level 5 and everything. Okay, so we're out in a match in the JAS-39C. Now, the purpose of the couple of matches I'm going to show you here isn't to try and, like, critique my gameplay or anything like that. I'm not going to necessarily be playing to win here. I'm going to try and show you what the crew skills do. I want you to specifically pay attention to how quickly and how far away things are going to show up on my minimap in the upper right-hand corner, and how quickly and how far away a dot in the distance is going to turn into a spotted target here on the regular view. I'm also going to want you to pay attention to how quickly and how long my pilot blacks out and stays blacked out for in high G maneuvers. And for the purposes of these matches, just to demonstrate the crew skills, I'm not going to be making any effort at all to reduce the impact of G load on my pilot. Like in a high G turn, I'm not going to be doing any of those little taps you can do to sort of reduce the blackout. I'm just going to go full force and kind of go as hard as we can here. And I'm going to clip ahead in this match to get to some interesting bits that illustrate what we're talking about. Now, you couldn't see it right there, but when I had that F-15 locked, I was actually trying to take the missile shot on him, but my pilot was blacked out and had no control. It didn't allow me to shoot the missile. So that's also useful information, I believe. Now, let's see if we can look around here, find anything else to attack. Oh, that is probably for me, and I can't launch countermeasures because my pilot's blacked out. And there's also an F-20 down below, I think that was. My pilot's blacked out. I can't launch countermeasures. All right, there we go, coming back. I'm going to be trying to go in for a gunfight. Totally blacked out. F-20's behind me. No idea what's going on. I see the blip on my mini-map for that F-15. There he is. Oh, can't aim for crap. See if I can turn in on him. Yeah, again, totally blacked out. Got some hits. Enough for the assist. And, all right, we've got one more guy, but we've got one missile left. Oh, and he's out. Okay, so that was a quick match in the JAS-39C here. I hope it illustrated like how quickly my pilot blacked out, the fact that I couldn't launch countermeasures or weapons while I was blacked out and out of control. And now let's upgrade our crew. Okay, so now we're back in the hangar here, and we're going to upgrade our crew. Now, upgrading to an expert crew, the cost in Silver Lions depends on the rank of the vehicle. You can see here, like one of these lower ranked vehicles costs nothing. So, you know, if you're kind of hedging on whether or not you want to upgrade your crew for like a rank 2 prop fighter, it's not really going to cost you too much. There's very little reason not to do so. However, for a higher tiered vehicle, this gets expensive. This is going to cost me over 1 million Silver Lions and some GEs in a second. It's not cheap, but I do it for you guys. So, Now, similar with Golden Eagles, you do not have to pay in order to upgrade your crew to Ace. If you look here on the screen, you're going to see Ace qualification can be purchased or obtained for free once the crew gets 50 bajillion research points with this vehicle. You can grind this out. However, I'm not going to spend the next however many matches grinding this out for the purpose of this video because I want to get this produced in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm just going to buy it. It's a lot of GEs, but I do it for you guys. Now, as you can see here, this is what it's going to give us. And we are now a fully aced pilot in this Gripen. And you're going to see here, all of our bonuses, all of our ranks are at 10 now instead of 5. We got +3 for going to Expert and a further +2 for going to Ace. So now I'm going to take this out into another match. I'm going to do the same sort of stuff I was before. I'm not going to try and mitigate excessive Gs or anything like that at all. And hopefully it'll show you a good direct before and after comparison. Okay, so I'm out in a second match in the JAS-39C, this time with a fully upgraded Ace pilot. And I threw another paint job on it just so that the two matches are a little bit more visually distinct. And I'm going to be doing the same thing I was before. I'm not necessarily playing my best here. I'm trying to get in situations that are going to show you the difference between the non-upgraded and the upgraded pilot. I'm not going to be making any effort at all to mitigate the effects of pilot blackout. I'm going to let you know when I can't take a missile shot or deploy countermeasures. And pay attention to when spotted targets are going to show up, you know, here out on the regular display and also up on the mini-map. And an important note I want to mention, I'm not showing any footage at the expert level because I don't want it, it's a little bit harder to see the gradual progression, you know, with the impacts of the pilot skills. I want to show you like nothing and then everything, so to speak. So that's sort of why we skipped that expert step. And I'm going to hope that the difference is pretty obvious. But let's jump in here and find some action. All right, we've got an F-15 we're coming in on. And a J-11. I am going to divert for the J-11. Got him. All right, let's try on this F-16. I'm not doing anything to try and avoid pilot blackout. Snapshot. Complete loss of control. There we go. Come on. Will that get him? Yes. Not sure where these missiles are coming from. There we go. Got an F-15. We'll take a head-on shot when we get a chance. He's got some incoming fire for me. That looks like it's a Sparrow. Take the snapshot. He's probably going to flare that out. No, got him. Oh, we got a whole bunch of guys right behind me, and they smacked me out. So that was, I think, a fairly effective example of like the blackout and the spotting and how it related back to the first match. So hopefully that little demonstration there showed you the difference, you know, in a fairly effective way between the base level pilot and the fully upgraded ace pilot. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up, you know, watching a video, but for me playing the aircraft, I was easily able to tell the difference. One of the main sort of critical factors was how quickly I lost control in a blackout, whether or not I lost control of the aircraft and the weapons, or only the weapons, and recovery from the blackout. The ace pilot, you know, went into G-lock a lot slower, recovered quicker, and I was able to retain flight control of the aircraft a little bit easier in the worst of the blackout. So that's sort of a kind of a big deal there in terms of the difference. The spotting mechanics, it's a little bit harder to demonstrate in a jet like this, but, you know, out in like a bomber or something, you know, where you're dealing with larger distances out in the air for longer periods of time, and the closing speeds aren't as quick, it can make a pretty big difference in terms of how far away you can actually spot a target and everything. So, in any case, I'm going to stop rambling. I hope the difference was obvious, and as always, thanks for watching.